Well, listen, let me tell you about this young lady who's coming on today. Is our last Tuesday of the month. Now, she sent me something this morning real early, and I love it. I'm going to read it to you. She says, I'm going to share. Here's our topic today. Listen up. I'm going to share how I got over 200 names and numbers. There's not a misprint. So if I ask people to go get 3 and she go get 200, let me read it again. I'm going to share today how I got over 200 names and numbers while networking in person last week. I'm going to read it one more time. I'm going to share how I got over 200 names and numbers while networking in person last week. Wow. Wow. Can we give a warm welcome to our guest speaker to close out the month of February, the one and only Ms. Jen Olson.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's so good to be with all of you. Mr. Ken Hayes, it's so nice to see you on video. It's so good to see you. Feels like a treat. And good to see you, of course, Mrs. Tila Duhayes. I couldn't say one without the other since they're a package deal, but it's good to see everyone. It's good to see everybody. So I am just going to take the next 20 minutes and share with you practical ways how I did this. So we talked last week about getting our mind right so that we can actually see opportunities everywhere. And now I'm going to tell you some practical things that I've done. It doesn't mean that this is the way or that you have to do what I did. This is just food for thought, just to expand your mind. You probably have things that, well, I know that you're doing things that I don't think about. And I'm doing things that maybe you haven't thought about. So it's just to expand like where we can see opportunity. So I know for me, sometimes I listen to people, especially people who are in positions or have points that like I want or that I'm committed to having. And I'm like, I have to do that. Oh, I see that. I have to do that. Oh, I see that. But it's like, let's look at the principle and let's just go out in life with that principle and see our warm market expand. So last week I took notes so that I can refer to them. Or just like super quick. We talked about unlimited warm market and getting our mind right. So clearing our mind of negative thoughts, remembering that you are what you think, and that impacts how you are when you interact with people, and just being able to see everything as an opportunity. And I requested that you take on doing something that stretched you. So here's my invitation for you to type really quickly in the chat while I bring this up, is what did you do? A lot of you took it on. What did you do last week that stretched you? Did you initiate a conversation that you wouldn't have normally initiated? Did you ask for a coffee meetup? Did you say, I'm working on this business project? Oh my gosh, Mr. Thomas, I didn't even acknowledge you. Rude. I just got straight to it. Mr. Thomas, no, thank you for who you are. Yes, you are such a gift. I don't want to take you for granted. Like Mrs. Heather Peary trained on, like, I don't want to just, no, you are not common. You are uncommon, which makes you extraordinarily unique. So thank you for who you are in the space that you provide for us. So thank you. Okay. Back to business. What did you do that stretched you? So Melissa Williams, RC, said, I asked someone for a referral. That is incredible. I heard from training from the beginning, like when, you ask them, who do they know? Oh my gosh, that's $1 million question. I went to strip malls and talked to business owners. Yes, Jackie Black. I love that. That is incredible. Met owners of each restaurant I went to last week and got their I am taking notes. Can somebody take notes and send those to me? I love that. That is such a good idea. Talk to the owner when you go to a restaurant. Wow, that is incredible. Anyone else do something that stretched them a little bit? I'm just going to ask that kind of slowly. So if people are slower in typing like me, they can get it in the chat. Okay, keep it coming if you guys, are wrapping some things up so we can get some more ideas. I love it. So last week, what did I do that stretched myself? I was actually on a flight back here to DC Sunday night, Monday morning. And I was sitting next to somebody and I talked with him, which isn't a stretch for me. And he was sharing I shared what I did. He asked me what I did and then we were talking. And I'm like, what do you do? And he works with surgical centers and implementing a software. And then as the flight goes on, I'm like sleeping off and on. And I'm like, what? He works at surgical centers? I'm like, excuse me, Benji, can you wake up? How many people work at these surgical centers? I'm thinking like large, humongous, right? And so he told me I don't know, like 5 to 20 people on average. And I was like, impact health sharing. Wait, where are these? Like, I had just started to see opportunity. I actually woke up because it was like midnight. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I want him to ask me more questions. In my mind, I'm like, it needs to go a certain way. And I noticed myself thinking that, and I put that aside and I said, I would love to connect and see what we might be able to do together in business. And he said, great, let's connect on LinkedIn. I said, great. Because I was sitting there in my head, like, it needs to look a certain way. Maybe he's not interested enough in what I do. I just put it to the side and I worked through the little muddle that showed up. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Patricia Harris Bowman and F. I can't see what else it says after that. In conference with a business owner. Okay. Chicken calls. A Galaxy A32 made some chicken calls. Can you change your name, please? Deborah, the business wasn't for them, so I asked for them to be my customer of many services they could choose from. And do you know anyone else who would be interested? Amazing. You had them be their customer and you asked for more referrals. That's exactly what we're trained in doing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to share with you how last week, I've never done this before. And I think it's Mr. Thomas asking me to step into the space of training that I stretched myself, but I got over 200 contacts in person. And I'd never done that before. So I'm going to share with you how I did it. And now I'm like, I need to like stop interpreting so I can actually follow up with all these people. Can you guys just do your own thing? No, that's not true. I'm committed to what I said I was going to do. Okay. So we're going to start first with networking in person. Because we can network online, we can network in person. There's other ways that we can network that maybe I haven't thought of. And how do we put ourselves in a space to network with people who are open to networking, where that's like part of the culture? So I'm going to do networking in person with kind of people who are entrepreneurial business. And then we could just do networking in person with people who maybe have common interests. So I'm going to start with the networking in person with people who are like entrepreneurial. There are so many meetup groups. Something just came in my Facebook feed for a small business expo. I'm like, do you think I want to? Yes, I want to go and talk with all of these small business owners. There's so many things you could literally Google. Like, you live in Los Angeles, entrepreneurial meetup, business owner meetup. Like, you can go to meetup.com and you could look for things. I went to a Chamber of Commerce breakfast in Santa Barbara. I was on the road for 6 hours for an hour and a half meeting. I didn't realize where Santa Barbara was. It's an hour and a half. It was about almost a 3-hour drive each way. My friend was like, I'm going to this thing. I'm like, I want to go. And I'm so glad I said yes before I looked at the GPS. So I went there and there were over 100 business owners there. It was a breakfast and every single person got to introduce themselves and give a 20-second introduction. They gave us a printout of everyone's names and numbers. They emailed us a list of everybody's names and numbers. We got to network before, during, and after. That is how I got 110 names and numbers. Personally, I probably got 20. I was able to like interact with 20 people there, but everyone there are business owners. The intention is to network. So we're in a pool of people that we're wanting to look for. Other people who are wanting, obviously with all of our services, they can create another stream of income, or they could just reduce what they have. And so I went there and I shared impact. If I'm like, I've got electricity and gas and internet and television and payment processing, I just stick with impact is how I lead. And then, as I'm able to connect with people later, I can share with them the business, but I lead with impact in those spaces. This is just what I do. This is not what needs to be done. This is not the system. This is just what I've done and introduced myself as like an impact person. So that was incredible. I also went to 3 in-person networking meetings with BNI. So BNI is a Business Networking International, where maybe some of you are already a part of it. I know there's a lot of people in ACN who have expanded their business greatly. It's a referral network. And I'll show you the website. And this is where people go. You pay to be a member and you're a member for a year. I have not paid to be a member. I don't stay in one spot for long enough to be a member because you go every single week. You make a commitment to do that. And everyone there, they have businesses. So what do they need? They want to increase their profits, right? So we could help them lower their expenses with our services and create another revenue stream. So I'm like, okay, this environment, this culture that BNI has is one of referring. It's one of networking. People are eager to interact with you and know what you do. So I'm going to show you what I did to find a BNI close to me. I went to the BNI page. I just did bni.com and I clicked on find a local chapter and then begin now. This is not something you have to do. This is just an option. I just loved it because people were so interested in impact, which is again what I led with. And let's just say I wanted to do this in New York City because I love Winston Herbert and that's where he lives. So let's do New York City and I'm going to do professional. I'm just going to do healthcare. There, you can go in there and you can say cell phone, you can say payment processing. You have to pick an industry. So that's just what I put in there. And then you could talk about everything else because the point is to make connections with people. And then you guys can take down my number if you want to. Send me text messages, call me. It's all good. Okay, so now I'm going to look for chapter groups in New York City. So they have these different options. And I like to go in person because I like to connect with people in person. So these are all of the different groups that are meeting in person. And you can just go as a guest. And you can see how many people. Oh, this one has 30 members. Ooh, this one has 44. What? I want to go and connect with 40 business owners. It's like an hour and a half meeting. This one has 21. This one has 16. Or if you're like, you know what? I'm not comfortable going in person. It doesn't work with my schedule for whatever reason. They also have online ones. You can attend a different BNI as a guest all over the country every single day if you wanted to. There's no limit to show up as a guest. So please don't tell me that you don't have people to talk to. There are so many people to talk to. So this would be all of the BNIs that are online that are New York based. This one has 74 members. Oftentimes they'll give you a list of the names and numbers of the people when you attend. So you have that there or they share it when you're there. So you could just sign up, you put in your information and you go. Like I went to 3 of these in person last week in California and I connected with so many people. It was over 100 people at those 3 meetings. And people, I just talked to somebody last night and he's like, can you do impact for my whole business? Like for all of us? I said, yeah, we can work that out. Yeah, we could do that. And people are looking for this. Like they're looking for ways to be able to bring more value to their employees, they're looking for us. They really are. They just don't know that they are until we open our mouths and we tell them what we're here for. So BNI, Chamber of Commerce, business networking meetups, just like Google literally your city, business networking meetup, entrepreneurial meetups, and different affinity groups. Maybe it's like Latinos in business or I don't know, Filipinos in business or whatever. Like there's different affinity groups that are also set up too, which are really cool to be able to attend. I did like a Latina some sort of like entrepreneurial business meetup thing. There's like a women's empowerment meetup that's happening next week here in DC. There are just so many things to be able to be in a space where people are wanting to network, they want to know what you do, and they want to make a difference for their business and for what they're up to. And let me tell you, they don't know that they could have this other stream of income. Like it just bodes so well with that. So I know this isn't like question and answer, but if there are any questions, you can put it in the chat. So that's how I literally got over 200 names last week, and that was all in person. Okay. So what about, oh, how sweet. I love it. Thanks for the encouragement. Okay, now we could look at how can we connect with people who are maybe just have similar interests to us. Maybe it's not like a business environment. Maybe you just want to connect with people who love to hike, love to golf. I don't know. Do people talk on the golf course? I don't know. I don't play golf. Who love to watch football, there are so many groups. We are created to be in community. We are created to be in relationship. People want to connect. You're not the only one who wants to connect. Please don't sit on a Friday night and say you have nothing to do. You could be the one to create an affinity group or to create something. Dog groups. I think it's for people who have dogs, not like for dogs to get together, but I don't know, maybe dog groups. I love that. People who breed, like there's probably some sort of breeding group or like show dog group, or I don't know. Mr. Jibri Clemens, you do so much, I don't know how to say it. So there's different groups to just get together and connect with people. You're not like, hi, can you come to my PVZ tonight? No, you are connecting. You're being curious. You're being interested. And out of that, naturally, like you could follow up and like, it was so great to meet with you. You know, I loved your energy. I'm working on a business project and I wanted to see if you would check it out, or whatever your language is. That was not very powerful, but whatever your language is, to invite them to come and hear it. Like, it's a way to expand your network. I'm working on a business project. I'm looking to connect with 5 business owners. Do you have 5 people that you'd be able to connect me with? I don't know. Like, it's just a way to like instantly expand the network. The newest business partner is a big time real estate investor in Chicago, and we met at a dog show. A natural connection. You're just doing what you love, you're being where you love, and you're making genuine connections with people. That's incredible. Okay. Louison, I'm not sure how to say your first name. I'm sorry. Last Sunday, I piqued a Canadian English teacher at a grocery store in Japan. He watched the 1 to 10 Tony Kupa's video, found a green apple. Woohoo! He opened his mouth in the middle of Japan, found an English teacher. I love it. That is so incredible. Awesome. Okay, just make sure I didn't miss other things. Okay, so affinity groups. You be you. You're not like, I'm going to get you to a PBZ right now. No, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to make a connection and just naturally inquire about them and follow up. Cool? Any questions? Are we good on that one? Okay, awesome. The third way, and Mr. Jason Diggy is an expert on this, and I think he's on the call. So if you really want to know how the professionals do it, follow him on Facebook or Instagram, because he is incredible at making videos and building his business through social media almost exclusively. So I am not a guru like him, although I've learned a couple of tricks, but excuse me, not as many as him. Okay, I am going to show you how I've connected with people on social media, and I know what I'm doing. Share iPad. Okay, go to share. I just learned how to do this, and it blew my mind. I just can't wait. I'm going to share my iPhone screen with you. Like, this is so exciting. Oh, please work. Okay. I might need it. I'm so sorry. Oh, of course, my phone has never died before. It's just doing like an endless loop. I'll talk about it, and then we're going to get this to work. And in nombre de Jesus. Okay. We're just going to give it a second here. So on Facebook, there are endless amounts of ways to connect with people. Endless. I don't know more than half of the people on my Facebook that are my friends, maybe more than half, whatever that is. I maybe know a third of the people who are on my Facebook, because I took a class one time, and the invitation was to look at social media as an opportunity to connect with people for business, not to pass the time. I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I just scrolling? I went to go respond to one thing, and I'm looking at someone's cousins, mothers, brothers, uncles, father's trip to Hawaii. I don't know you. This is not benefiting me or anyone else. But if you shift your mindset from looking at it to like social media or a time sucker, look at it as a way to expand your warm market and to connect with endless people around the world, which I'm sure you have. My phone is still doing funny things. Okay, so I am going to, I know why. Okay, dang it. You guys give me 30 seconds, talk amongst yourselves. I'm so sorry. I know why this is happening. And I'm supposed to connect to Wi-Fi for it to be able to go together. So on there, I have specifically looked for people that I'm like looking to connect with. Like, I want to connect with people who are in the insurance industry. I want to connect with business owners. I want to connect with, I mostly go for like the business aspect. I don't do a lot of the affinity groups, but there are endless amounts of affinity groups where I met people and interacted with them from a running group when I was training for my marathon. And I literally met them in person in Nashville and was able to like go to a networking meeting. Like, you just never know where you're going to meet people that you're able to connect with. Okay. All right. We're going to my Facebook. If you guys see something that you think is interesting, tell me about it later. I will be so curious about it. I'm going to show you my personal Facebook page. I normally do this on my phone, so I wanted to do it on my phone so I could show you how I kind of navigate it, but this will be perfect too. So I go here to search Facebook. So I might say, I don't know, a business owner. So I'll do search, and hopefully this is just a way for me to connect with people. Okay, and I'll click over here and go to people. but I want to look for business owners in New York City because who do we love? Winston. So I'm going to go over here and look for people who are business owners in New York City. Oh, Byron Nelson. What? Maybe that's another Mr. Byron Nelson. I don't know. So these are business owners in New York City. Let's say I live in New York City, or I'm going to go there, or we have an event in a city called Dallas or Fort Worth. You could like build into these places. And I might go over here and just add these people as friends, or I might send them a note. Hey, I noticed that we have, a couple of friends in common and you're a business owner in New York City. I would love to connect about a project I'm working on. Like you could do it that way, or even better, you could do business owner in New York City and you could do groups. I am so used to doing this on my phone. Okay, you can go over here to groups and you can see different groups that have entrepreneurial and business owners community. You got small businesses in New York. And these are groups where people post things. You can see how many posts they have a day. You can be a contribution to this group and just meet people who are like-minded. You can comment on their post. You can direct message them. You can ask them to be their friend. This is a way. This one has 463,000 members. Did we just say endless amounts of? There are so many people. You may be, I don't know, a cigar smoker. I don't know. I'm not gonna advocate for that. I'm gonna do something healthy. Dog breeders. Let's do dog breeders in Nashville. Just in honor of somebody on this call. So we're gonna do dog breeders in Nashville. And like maybe you're Jabri Cummins and this is something that you love, and you're gonna look for different groups there. He just said he connected with somebody at a dog show who's a real estate investor. So there are all of these groups. This one has 6,000, almost 7,000 members, 4 posts a day. These are people who have common interests. You can just connect with them naturally, make a difference in the group, be a contribution, and your warm market will expand like that. Another thing that I do on social media is I'll post stories. And if you guys don't know how to do that, you can look at how to search, how do I post a story? What does that mean? It's just a picture that will show for about a day and people can look at it, they'll like it. And what sometimes I'll do is I'll make the goal, okay, today I'm going to respond to 5 people who looked at my thing or hearted my story. And that's like they quote unquote like initiated the contact because they looked at it or they heard it. And I respond, I say, hey, it's good to hear from you. How are things going? Or, hey, I saw you went on a trip recently. Tell me about what's going on in life. Or it's just a way to like be in contact with people through social media. And then of course, naturally you could do form, right? The form thing. Okay, I'm going to get this. But Fred, no, wait, tell me, someone mouth it. Occupation, family. That's the other way. Family, occupation, recreation, money. So you can ask those questions. Thanks. I was like looking, I'm like, I could read your lips. You can just ask those questions organically while you're connecting with them. Now, social media isn't a time sucker. It's a way to expand your warm market. So to boil all of this down, and I'm talking really fast, I have to go back to work, but to boil all of this down, is have the lens of there's opportunity all around me. If I don't see it, let me open my eyes wider and look for it, and it will appear. There are endless ways to connect with people. If you guys have any questions, or if anything at all, what does the U stand for? Oh, it's FORM, FORM. So it was family, occupation, recreation, and money. If you have any questions, you can find me on one of those things, or you could call me and ask me if there's like technology questions. But Jason, I didn't ask him for permission, but he's an expert and he's really great at explaining things too. So that's what I have. I am so excited to hear about how your warm market expands. And I hope that I hear back from you at another time when you tell me I topped you. I got 300 contacts in one day. No, I don't know, maybe. But thank you so much for letting me speak on this call. It was so great to be with all of you.
Oh, wow.